What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? If you have not done so already, under this video, there is a link to the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast. Thanks to you, it is one of the top podcasts in the country. Click on that link and it'll take you to the appropriate platform for you to check out our podcast. Also, in that same link, you can click on our YouTube channel and subscribe to check out the visuals of the podcast. Going in, a nearly 50-year-old case, sexual assault case, against Bill Cosby may proceed according to a California judge. The lawsuit filed in December 2014 says that Bill Cosby, who was freed from prison in Pennsylvania in June, sexually assaulted Judy Huth in 1974 when she was 15 years old. Huth alleges that Bill Cosby assaulted her at the Playboy Mansion and that she suffered psychological damage and mental anguish as a result. The case had been on hold since Bill Cosby was facing aggravated assault charges in Pennsylvania. Now, the judge says that the civil case against Bill Cosby may go forward. So let's take a look at this, fam. We have a case that is 47 years old. The case was 40 years old when the woman first brought it to the public's attention. 40 years old. She was 15 years old at the Playboy Mansion with a bunch of grown men doing what people do at the Playboy Mansion. Fam, none of us was there. So I can't say that the man took advantage of it. But at 15 years old, it's a lot of people do a lot of things that grown folks do consciously. Yeah, they may not be fully matured, but they do a whole lot of mature stuff. I know I did a bunch of mature stuff, and some of it I paid for it, some of it I got away with. Ultimately, I probably didn't get away with anything because you know how karma works. I had to pay for it every single time that I got caught up. See, fam, it don't matter what our situations are in life. You get to be a certain age, man, you got to be accountable for your actions, for the role you play, right? Man, there's so many 15-year-old girls that are going into these clubs, dressing up, putting on makeup, and consciously approaching these dudes or putting themselves in a position where they can be accessible to these ball players and, you know, all these kind of cats with money and stuff like that. I just believe that these girls got to take some responsibility too, fam. I don't give a damn if it's my daughter. She got to take some responsibility also for her actions. Yeah, you got to, you know, get on dude or whatever and say, yeah, man, that ain't cool or won't. But don't these girls got to take some responsibility too? She going to the Playboy Mansion, and she held on to that for 40 years. For 40 years, she held on to this, and she's saying she's been psychologically damaged. Look, I'm not in her head. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know if she's thinking about a payday or if she really was traumatized by that experience or if it happened at all. We don't know. So this boils down to a he say, she say. He say, she say. His word against her word over 40 years with zero evidence. Whose side you pick? You know what it comes down to, fam? Likability. That's all it's gonna boil down to. Who do you believe is gonna boil down to who you like the most? who you can relate to the most. This is he say, she say. This case should not be in trial. This case should not be going to trial. Because if you really want to keep it real, fam, if you really want to go there, and listen, I am an advocate for victims of sexual assault. You can go down my timeline and you see all kind of stuff where I support the victims. But man, right is right, man. If they're serious about making it right, and they're saying that, hey, there is no such thing as statute of limitation and all this type of stuff, because that's why the prosecutor initially threw the case out when she came at the prosecution in 2014. They said that, it was the statute of limitations had expired. So if they're going to bring this civil case back up and say, well, it ain't no statute of limitation on justice. Well, let's go get some justice for all the black women that was raped through the course of this U.S. history. Let's go get some justice for that. Give us some justice for all the millions of black women who have been raped and murdered at the hands of members of law enforcement, politicians, businessmen, and everyday people who walk around on this planet. Let's get some justice for them. I mean, if it's really about justice. I mean, if you really, really care about women rights and women being protected. If it's really about protecting women and getting justice for women who have been abused, misused, who have been harmed, let's go get justice for all the women. Let's start with the black women who has suffered the longest in this country. Let's get some justice for them if that's what it's really about. Until then, miss me with that bullshit. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?